What's up guys, welcome back to another Grow a Garden video, and today, we need to talk about the pets, because recently the devs have pushed out one of the biggest nerfs this game has ever seen, and it's got a lot of players frustrated, including myself. And this nerf literally is affecting everyone. It doesn't matter if you're brand new to the game or if you've been grinding for a few months, but all of your pets are going to be weaker now. And the worst part of it is, a lot of these changes weren't even explained clearly by the devs. It just sort of happened out of nowhere, and now players started finding out that their pets aren't doing what they used to be doing. And I'm not here to bash the devs, but I want to talk about this issue, in this video. I know that balancing the game is tricky, and I understand that they don't want the game to be too easy. But the way that this was handled and the scale of it, we definitely need to cover this. So let's break everything down and exactly what got nerfed, how it impacts the game, and whether or not it makes sense. And if you are enjoying this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So I just want to start off with a quick refresher. So pets in Grow a Garden aren't just for looks, they actually have abilities that make your life way easier. Some boost plant growth, others speed up machines, and some drop bonus items, and a few of them just straight up print money for you over time. These abilities are why people are spending so much time grinding for rare pets, fusing eggs together, and even trading with each other. So pets aren't just companions, they are a huge part of progression in the game, which is why this big nerf is such a big deal. So let's go ahead and jump into the first big nerf, which has to do with the mochi mouse. So yes, before the nerf, this pet was amazing for farming XP and aging up your account. It gave solid XP per second, plus it gave a big chunk of bonus XP every few minutes. This made it to where basically it is the go-to pet if you want fast upgrades. And after the nerf, you may ask, it's barely giving 1 XP per second. The bonus also got cut down, and the passive amount just feels way slower than before, and overall it's just not worth using as it was before. People who spent hours farming multiple mochis are now sitting on a bunch of pets that aren't really helping them out. And honestly, this was one of the most painful nerfs because it just feels like it was unnecessary. Like the devs didn't really have to do that. The mochi was a strong pet, but it was one of the few pets that made grinding actually feel rewarding. Now, here's where things get really messy. So the mochi nerf, that was at least noticed and seen by the players, but a couple days later, we all started to realize that there's actually a huge list of pets that have been quietly nerfed. We're talking about the cockatiel, the disco butterfly, the moth, the fennec fox, the red fox, queen bee, and the mimic octopus, and a few more. So that's easily 20-30% of all pets in the game got this big hit. They got hit with a cooldown increase and weaker effects. Before the nerf, a lot of these pets had abilities that triggered every 10 to 15 seconds, which was pretty strong, but it felt balanced considering how rare they were and how expensive they were. But after the nerf, those same abilities now take a full minute to trigger, and a minute might not sound long, but in a farming game where you're trying to cycle the plants and machines, that basically takes forever. And what was the catch to this? Nothing was clearly announced by the devs. People only found out because their pets weren't doing what they remembered before. So yes, the community is pretty mad about this. And let me give you a couple quick examples of some of the nerfs. So the queen bee, that used to buff pollination quickly, now with that 1 minute cooldown, that kills its usefulness in a lot of gardens. The mimic octopus, one of the coolest pets for item duplication, that used to be 10 to 15 seconds, now it's also a full minute. And the disco butterfly, this was a fan favorite for faster growth, and it's the same story, but the cooldown has been stretched out so far that it is not useful anymore. So these pets went from game breaking to barely noticeable, and yeah, people have spent hours trying to grind for these pets, and it's like they've just been ruined now. Yeah, so a lot of players are upset about this. Players have invested time, effort, and even Robux into getting these pets, and then overnight all of the value has just dropped. Imagine grinding weeks for a rare mutation, finally getting the perfect pet, and then the next day it's just gotten nerfed to the ground without any warning. On top of that, pets are one of the main incentives to keep playing Grow a Garden. So if pets don't feel powerful or rewarding, that's gonna make the players lose motivation. Now let's be fair for a second. Why would the devs nerf pets in the first place? Well, they probably saw how strong the pets had become, and they were probably worried that they were making the progression too fast. So if every player is running around with pets, duplicating items, getting a lot of XP, then it can break the economy. So I get what the devs were trying to do there, but the execution was not that great, especially the silent nerfs, because if you're going to rebalance such a huge part of the game, you need to be telling the community, you need to be transparent, put it in the patch notes, and don't be doing stuff silently and quietly behind the community's back. That's just how I feel. So yeah, the pet nerfs in Grow a Garden have been rough. The mochi mouse is basically dead now. Dozens of pets got hit with a silent nerf, and yeah, it just really hit the community in a very impactful way. I do think that the game can recover from this, but it's going to take some back and forth between the players and the devs. We need to communicate to them, how they can fix this again. But yeah, if you've made it this far, I really thank you. I appreciate you watching this video. Drop a comment down below. Do you think the nerfs were fair, or should the devs continue with these nerfs? I really want to hear what you guys think. If you guys found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We're close to 15,000 subscribers, and every bit of support really does mean the world to me. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.